Hey everyone, hey, 2025, we're here, rock and roll. Want to welcome Leif McClellan. Joined us at the end of the year,
Woo!
rock and rolling. Already got listings rolling, sales happening. So welcome, Leif. Right, I'm happy
Welcome.
to have you here on the podcast. Vanessa, she's an old pro,
Hello.
rock and roll. Basically, here we're going to kind of go over what happened last year. What did that look like compared to
Mhm.
2023, and kind of what that crystal ball is. Everybody wants to know what's the future going to hold, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's always a funny thing.
2025 predictions.
That's right. That's right. But interesting stuff, right? I mean, we saw, some big growth in 24 compared to 23. Well, not everybody might see that, right? So, 23 was a down year from 2022, but we saw, 24 come back. I mean, where prices are up. I mean, we saw just December this last month, sales prices were up 18% on
Mhm.
the median
Yeah.
price, right? So, that's a big increase. Just kind of shows consumer confidence. It's a big deal, right? So I mean, that's just people need to know that what's happening
Mhm.
with the market. We're so tied to the Bay Area. I mean, our numbers aren't as crazy what's happening in Santa Clara County,
Yeah.
but we kind of trickle down, a few months later what happens over there. So, pretty exciting stuff. Uh, I think one of the interesting numbers is that we actually had 120 more sales in 2024 compared to 2023. So actually more sales.
Yeah.
Although we had more listings, we took 300 more listings in 24 versus 23, but they're selling, right? So 120 more of those sold. So I think it's a balanced market. That's kind of what it's telling us. I mean, homes need to be dialed, right? I mean, if
Mhm.
it's an ugly
Yeah.
duckling, it's got some, whatever you want to call it, and it's
Yeah.
not quite right. People kind of skip over it,
Oh, yeah.
right? I mean, so
Buyers will definitely skip over it.
but we should tell buyers. We'll get to that in the segment here. You'll talk
Yes.
about buyers, but I think it's an important thing because there's opportunity out there for buyers that should really jump and don't be afraid to make an offer on those ugly
Definitely.
ducklings. But when it comes to getting your house ready to sell, it's all about putting the right coating on it and making it looking great.
Which
Just
we know a lot
Yeah.
about.
right, yeah. We got done doing that, so that's pretty cool. Uh, so, Leif, sellers is I mean, you work with everybody, but I mean, you got a lot of experience with sellers. We just recently launched, a new listing where we did a whole renovation to it.
Yeah. Came out great.
Yeah, right. I mean, it took us like 2, 3 weeks. I mean, we just hit the market with it. So, super sharp. But talk to us what you think sellers, like, what do you think the message out there we should be telling our sellers right now?
Well, selling is always what's important is the motivation of why they're selling. You know what I mean? Because everybody asks, is it a good time? I mean, that's up to you. What are you
Mhm.
doing in your life? When it comes to the market right now, I mean, over the past 20 years, we've had 16 years of up and then 4 of down. So we're looking really good on prices in the past 5 years. People's equity have gone or prices have gone up like 50%
Right.
plus
Mhm.
what you've, bought down with paying that. Even with the increase in the inventory, we're still historically low. So it's a supply and demand economics. If you have, like you said, a house that's been dialed in, it's going to get all the attention. It's going to sell. Because right now, the ones that are the fixers are the ones that sit, and it's
Because it shows you the cost of money right now. I mean, let's be honest, but things are expensive, right? I mean, it's not rates are double where they were at, and prices have gone up. So what does that mean? I mean, it just means that
Mhm.
the cost of ownership has really shot up. So that's
yeah,
exactly kind of what you're speaking to, I think.
yeah. Because people, they'll pay top dollar for something they don't have to go back in and then spend more money on to fix up. So
Exactly. So that's a good. That's the message out there,
yeah,
right? And there's just not enough of them, right? People want to move to Santa Cruz, but there's only so many properties that are within a couple miles of the water. They're not
mhm,
super remote, and so the ones that we're seeing struggle a little bit are the ones that outlying areas. Just not as much demand, but there's definitely there's a lot of buyers out there at all levels,
Yeah.
which kind of segues right to Vanessa here. I mean, our buyer specialist here, you've been, doing this a long time now, and you really have your finger on the trigger or your, hand on the pulse, know what's happening. What are you seeing out there with buyers, and what are they looking for? What's the biggest, success and struggles altogether?
Well, like we talked about, affordability has been a huge topic, right?
Right.
Sorry, I don't want to do that in the mic. But prices have kind of flattened out, at least on the buyer's end. So over the last maybe 2 years, there's been modest gains since, 2022, but we're not looking at that 2022 market anymore where you have to come 100,000 above asking to even get yourself into a home,
Right.
right? So even though you do see prices a little bit elevated, days on market are a lot higher, which gives buyers negotiating power to get repairs, credits, special type of financing, and all of that good stuff. So I keep telling my buyers when they ask, is it a good time to buy? I'm like, it is if you can afford to buy, right? Because that's the biggest thing right now. But yeah, the good thing about this market right now for buyers is the fact that you're able to have some leverage, which we didn't have before. So, it's not all gloom and doom. It's okay.
I mean, hey, it's never been cheap to live in Santa Cruz County,
Exactly, yeah.
Silicon Valley. That's never been the case. I mean, no matter what market we've been in.
Mm-hmm.
I think that ship sailed,
Yeah.
40 years ago.
Not only that, but it's like now you guys are talking about how these homes have to be ready to sell, right? Buyers are overlooking properties that need work because it's already so expensive to get into the home.
Yeah.
And then after paying for down payment, closing costs, all of that good stuff, then having to furnish the home and take care of maintenance. It's a lot. So there's not a lot of people that, are really going towards those fixers. But there is also leverage in negotiating with fixers. So it could go both ways. So it really just depends on the buyer's situation and what outcome they need from that, which is what we help them figure out.
That's right. And there's always renovation loans too.
Totally. The
Something that's
FHA
sitting forever.
loan.
Yeah, you can always go down that road.
There's
Totally.
some great options out there. And also, maybe you want to live, Pleasure Point, or you want to live, West Side, Lower West Side, but it's not in your budget right now. Look at what you can afford to own a piece of real estate in this county, right? We have so many different areas and the price ranges vary, right? Our median price is at just a little bit over 1.2 million right now, but we have very livable homes in the $700,000 range, right? People just don't, maybe, it's farther commute. I got to deal with how we want to go to South County. I got to go into San Lorenzo Valley. But if you're renting, you get comfortable and you keep paying that rent, you never move, right? And your rent just keeps going up and you're throwing it away. I mean, you look at owning a house for 4 or 5 years, forget the market going up, right? Which it does. I mean, we see the market go up on average 5 to 8% a year, right? If you go back for decades.
Yeah.
But if, let's say the market didn't even move and you paid your mortgage for 5 years, you're going to have a ton of equity in that house just by paying down the principal.
Yeah.
So I think that people just, hey, we have 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom condos out there. We have small cabin type homes. There's a lot of options out
Mobile
there.
homes down by the beach, every type.
Hey, you want to live in Pleasure Point? We just sold one, right? You just had that awesome. I mean, under 400 grand. It's like, and you can ride your cruiser to the beach. So there are options out there in this county. You just need to know about them and.
Not only that, like having a piece of real estate to then trade up is kind of the key, because I feel like a lot of buyers think about going into their dream home right away. And in this county, it's not really possible, right? You need to have some sort of real estate that you can hold and keep for a couple years and then trade up. So I think that's one of the biggest points too, where it's like get in where you can so you can have that leverage in the future. Rents continue to go up as home prices do. So it's kind of like both of them are hard. You kind of have to pick your hard.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's also a lot of options out there, right? I mean, we had some low income stuff in the city of Watsonville. Has a new project. There's like almost 30 units coming on the market. And it's not like low income, medium income, I guess you would think. But I mean, there's some good options out there. Bottom line, that's probably another podcast, or they should check out your latest video.
Oh yeah, we have a video about that if you guys want to check it out.
That's right. 100%. So hey, you guys, we're going to be doing these all year long. I think everybody hopefully is watching, listening. Subscribe to to this channel. Subscribe to the podcast to get all this information. Right, real life talk. I mean, we out there every day.
And share it with people that have these questions. I know you guys talk to family, friends, and everything. So definitely share the knowledge.
That's right.
And let us know what you want to talk about.
Yes.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hit us up and let us know what topics are important to you, and we will we'll chop it up.
Yeah.
Awesome, Leif. Vanessa, this has been great.
Great start to 2025.
Let's rock and roll.